Two generators, same building in Ontario, California, same 500cc engine. 13,000 starting watts, 10,500 running watts, both of them. Same 8-hour runtime at half load. Same dual fuel setup. Same 87.5 amps at 120 volts. Line for line, spec for spec, these two machines are the same machine. One of them is red. One of them is blue. And depending on what week you're shopping, they are $500 apart. $500. Hold on to that number, because it's the cleanest version of a thing happening all the way down that aisle, on machines that don't even share a company. That $500 doesn't buy you a bigger engine. It doesn't buy you a longer runtime. It doesn't buy you one extra watt. It buys you paint. So here's what this is. First, I'm going to show you how a generator actually gets made in 2026, because it is nothing like what the box implies, and once you see the shape of it, you can't unsee it on any shelf in the store. Second, I'm going to put a government document on screen, a real one, filed with a real agency, publicly searchable, that names the factory that built a generator sold under an American brand you have absolutely heard of. That's the part I'd like you to sit with. And third, right at the end, there are 12 characters printed on a sticker on the machine you already own. 12. If you can read them, you can find out who actually built your generator in about 3 seconds. Standing in the aisle for free. I'm holding that one until the end because it's the only thing in this video you can use tonight. Quick thing, then I'll leave you alone. Everything I'm doing to these generators right now, the specs, the paperwork, the receipts, I've already done for every machine in your garage. That's the No BS Buyer's Vault. 7 guides. The generator breakdown is the one that stops you from buying $800 of watts you will never use. The warranty and dealer playbook is the one that stops a badge brand from telling you a third-party part voided your coverage. One bad buy in that aisle costs you $2,000–$3,000. That $500 paint job costs you $500. The whole vault is $47. PrimeRundown.com. QR's on screen, links pinned, and that's it. I will not bring it up again. PrimeRundown.com. Let's go. So, how does a generator get built? There are 3 completely different things happening on that shelf, and the store makes all 3 look identical, because they're all sitting under the same fluorescent light with the same yellow sale tag. The first thing is a company that genuinely builds generators. It owns a factory, it employs the people in it, it stamps the metal. That's real. That still exists. And I'm going to name names in a minute, because if I let you walk out of here thinking every generator on Earth is the same Chinese crate with different paint, I'd be lying to you and you'd deserve better. The second thing is a company that designs a generator and then pays somebody else to build it. This is the boring, legal, completely normal middle of the industry. It has a name, OEM and ODM Manufacturing, and it works exactly the way it sounds. The American brand writes the spec. The factory builds to it. The brand's name goes on the tank. Nobody's hiding this. Harbor Freight says it out loud on their own website. Their words, roughly, they buy from the same factories that supply their competitors, and they cut out the middleman. That is a company telling you, in marketing copy, that the machine in your cart came off the same line as the more expensive one you didn't buy. And then there's the third thing. And the third thing is the one that gets people. The third thing is a name, not a company, a name. A trademark sitting in a vault somewhere that used to belong to an enormous American industrial firm that has not built a small engine in living memory, and somebody rented it. Paid for the right to print those letters on a generator, and then went and had the generator built somewhere else entirely. You are looking at a logo with 100 years of history on it, bolted to a machine that has none of it. Westinghouse Outdoor Power Equipment is a licensed name. The generators are made by a company called MWE Investments out of Columbus, Ohio, which picked up that license back in 2016. Ford-branded generators? Ford doesn't make those. They're made and distributed by Pulsar. The name on the tank and the company that built the tank are 2 different entities, and no floor tag anywhere in that store is going to mention it. Now here's the receipt. Harbor Freight's Predator brand. Enormously popular, genuinely decent machines, tremendous value. I'm not here to trash them. The Predator 30 500 inverter. To sell that engine in California, Somebody has to file for an executive order with the California Air Resources Board. That's a certification document. It is public. It has been public the whole time. Every manufacturer that files gets a prefix code. Predator's engine traces back to prefix U145. U145 is Lonson Motor Company, Limited, Chongqing, China. Read that twice. Because it's not the interesting part yet. The interesting part is that the same Lonson has built engines for Briggs and Stratton. And Lonson builds motorcycle engines for BMW. So we have one factory in one city whose output ends up under a Harbor Freight badge, under an American Heritage badge that's been on lawn equipment since before your father was born, and under a German motorcycle. 3 totally different price ladders. One set of tooling. That is not a leak. That is not a rumor. That is a certification filing with a state agency sitting on a .gov server that you could pull up on your phone right now. The factories were never hidden. The markup is. So let's do the map, because once you know the layer exists, the whole wall reorganizes itself. Start with the honest one. Generac, Wisconsin, they actually manufacture real domestic plants, and their growth came from buying real companies with real engineering. Pramac in Italy, Deep Sea Electronics in the UK for $420 million in 2021. Ecobee for a deal valued up to $770 million later, that same year. Whatever you think of Generac's failure rate, and I have thoughts, and they're a different video, the accusation in this video does not apply to them. They are not renting a name. Briggs and Stratton filed Chapter 11 in July of 2020. KPS Capital Partners bought substantially all the assets for about $550 million. The sale closed that September. Along with it came Vanguard, Simplicity, Snapper, Ferris, Billy Goat, Murray, Victa. So when you see a Briggs engine on a generator, you are looking at a brand that is now a private equity asset, running engines that are partly built by, you guessed it, Lonson, Furman. Furman is the one that surprises people, because Furman isn't an American brand that outsources. Furman is a division of Sumec, out of Nanjing, which is a subsidiary of Sinomac, a state-owned Chinese enterprise on the Fortune Global list. The factory isn't behind the brand. The factory is the brand. They just skipped the middle step. A high-power American company, Ontario, California, everything built in China, some inverters running actual Yamaha engines. Duromax and Durostar, same company, same building, and we already did that math. $500 for paint. Now, one correction, and I want to do it before somebody does it to me in the comments. If you go searching for who owns Champion Power Equipment, you are going to find over and over on a bunch of very confident-looking websites. That Champion was bought by MTD in 2020 and then by Stanley Black & Decker in 2021. That is wrong. It's just wrong, and it's spreading, because AI summaries keep repeating each other. What actually happened is that Stanley Black & Decker bought the rest of MTD Holdings for $1.6 billion in 2021. That deal brought them Cub Cadet and Troy Built, not Champion. Champion is still independent, still privately held, still associated with its founding ownership, headquartered in Las Vegas with engineering in Milwaukee and Santa Fe Springs. Champion designs its units in the States and has the engines built in China, same as half this list. But nobody bought them. I'm telling you that because being right about the boring stuff is the whole job. If I'll repeat a wrong ownership claim because it makes the story tidier, you should not believe the U145 thing either. Okay, what owners actually find? And I want to be clear about what this next part is, because it's a different grade of evidence. Everything up to now was filings and spec sheets. This is forum posts and owner reports. Useful, real, and not the same thing as proof. Owners on the solar and power equipment forums have been pulling these machines apart for years, and the pattern they describe is consistent. A Durostar 5000 watt and a Duromax 50 500 watt sharing not just the engine, but the alternator brushes, the fan, the alternator casing, and the automatic voltage regulator. Different wattage on the sticker, same guts underneath. The replacement parts market tells on everybody, by the way. Go look at a generic carburetor listing on eBay for a Predator, and watch it list compatibility across the 3000, the 3200, the 3500, the 4000, the 4375. One carburetor, 5 different generators. Parts don't lie about platforms. Parts fit or they don't. Here's where this gets personal, and you already know if it's you. You bought the more expensive one. Maybe 2 years ago, maybe last hurricane season. You stood there in the aisle, you looked at the 2 machines, and the more expensive one felt more serious. Heavier badge. Better looking control panel. You told yourself you were buying quality, and you weren't wrong to want to. Then something breaks, and you go looking for the part, and the part that fits your $500 nicer generator is sitting there on the shelf, labeled for the cheaper one. And it fits. It fits perfectly. That's the moment. That's when people email me. If there's a generator in your garage right now, go out and look at the emissions sticker on it, and drop the brand plus the first 4 characters in the comments. I'll tell you who built it. I read those, and honestly that thread is going to be more interesting than this video. Now let me be careful with you, because there's a version of this story that's dishonest and I'm not doing it. Nobody committed a crime here. Contract manufacturing is legal, it's ordinary, it's in the SEC filings, it's on the company websites, it's in the certification records I just showed you. No cartel. No secret meeting. Generac genuinely builds in Wisconsin. Honda genuinely assembles in the States. Kohler genuinely builds its own engines. If you buy a Honda inverter, you are not buying a Predator with a nicer sticker. A Honda EU 3000 weighs about 130 pounds against the Predator's roughly 100. And most of that difference is copper and iron in the alternator. That weight is real. You can feel it in your back. What's actually going on is quieter than a conspiracy, and I think it's worse. Because it's just how the market is allowed to work. The factory was never a secret. The price of knowing was. Which brings me to the thing I need to be honest about, including about my own title. Paying double is doing some work up there. So let's put a real number on it. For 2 machines that are genuinely provably identical, same company, same line, same spec sheet. The gap I can document is 30 to 50%. That's the $500. It is not double. Anyone who tells you the identical machine costs twice as much is selling you outrage. You get to actual double when you climb from a Chinese-built badge to a premium name. $700, $800, $900 for a Predator against $2,000 plus for the Honda. That's double and then some. But that is not the same machine, and I'm not going to pretend it is. What you're paying for there is real engineering, a real service network, and a real resale value. So 30 to 50% for the identical machine and up to double once a premium badge gets involved. Both of those are worth knowing. Only one of them is a ripoff. Here's what to actually do about it. 1. When 2 machines match on the spec sheet, buy the cheaper badge, but verify first. And I mean verify, not eyeball. Matching horsepower and matching watts is not proof. The full manufacturer code is proof, and I'm about to hand it to you. The caveat: check the alternator windings. Duramax has run copper on some models where Durostar's MX line runs aluminum, and copper runs cooler under a long, hard, sustained load. If you're powering a job site all day, that's a real difference. If you're running a fridge and some lights for 2 days after a storm, it is not. 2. Do not pay a premium badge price for a Chinese-built unit unless you're specifically buying the warranty and the service network. Sometimes that's exactly what you want, and it's a fine trade. The caveat: find out who honors that warranty within 50 miles of your house before you pay for it, not after. 3. Know that a license name owes you nothing that the license doesn't require. Case in point, the Federal Trade Commission went after MWE, the Westinghouse licensee, in 2022 over warranty language that implied using non-MWE parts would void your coverage. The consent order was finalized that October, and they had to state plainly that third-party parts will not void the warranty. The caveat: that's the system working. It's also a 100-year-old logo behaving like a gatekeeper, and it took a federal agency to stop it. 4. If domestic manufacturing genuinely matters to you, Generac is the defensible answer on home standby. The caveat: you will pay for it, and it doesn't buy you immortality. And now, the thing I've been holding. Every gasoline generator sold in this country carries an emissions compliance label. It's usually on the frame, on the engine shroud, or somewhere near the fuel tank. Small, white, or silver. You have walked past it 1,000 times. On that label is a 12-character code. The EPA calls it the engine family name, and it's not marketing. It's a required identifier, and it's structured. Character 1 is the model year. L is 2020, M is 2021, N is 2022, P is 2023, R is 2024, S is 2025. T is 2026. Characters 2, 3, and 4 are the manufacturer code assigned by the EPA. That is the whole ballgame. That is who actually built the engine, regardless of whose name is painted on the tank. Character 5 is the industry sector. Characters 6 through 9 are the displacement. 10, 11, and 12 are the manufacturer's own internal code. So here is your 3-second test, and you can run it in the store, today, with 2 machines sitting side by side. Find the sticker. Read characters 2, 3, and 4. Read characters 6 through 9. If 2 different brands show you the same manufacturer code and the same displacement, that is the same engine from the same factory, and one of them is cheaper. And if you want to go one level deeper, both agencies publish this. The EPA's annual certification data for vehicles, engines, and equipment is public and searchable, and lists the certificate holder for every engine family going back to 1998. California's Air Resources Board publishes its executive orders the same way. That's how I got U145 equals Lawson. There was no source, no leak, no insider. I read a public document that has been sitting there the entire time you've been overpaying. Nobody is hiding the factory from you. They never were. They're just betting, and it is a very good bet, and it has been paying off for decades, that you will never spend 3 seconds looking at the sticker that tells you the truth. That's what the extra $500 actually buys. Not copper, not iron, not 1 additional watt. It buys their confidence that you won't look. YouTube thinks you'll like one of these 2 videos, so go ahead and click 1. And if you made it all the way to the end of this, subscribe. That's the whole deal. That's how this stays sponsor-free. PrimeRundown.com if you want the rest of the map.